Hi guys, sometimes disruptive is instructive. And yes, that is what we need. Thought leaders taking up much needed space. Today we meet one such leader who peddles a new thinking inside hustling. I know you want more. Come along with us. I'm telling don't come. One of things that happen when you are here.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's better.
we have to finish this now.
We have to finish what? These things.
My instructions are also possible. So we should put them here and say, when I come back, must be empty here.
We'll see how darling,
Okay. Can we go? Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Khoola Biz Lounge podcast. My name is Bongani Mzobe, your host for that platform that decodes entrepreneurship and helps you in your journey as you chase your bag. I normally say we don't know what your bag is. You know what you're chasing, but there is a formula to getting it right. Today is quite a special episode. We host a man that I've grown to like, to follow, and to respect out of Twitter. One who is always peddling a new thinking in the art of side hustling, and someone who pushes us as people who always listen to him to think differently about entrepreneurship as a whole. Before we introduce him, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Nick. How are you, sir?
No, me, I'm good, Chief. But I sense that you wanted to say I'm a guest, but it's fine.
Today you are dressed like a guest. Now,
Hey, Chief, spring and sprung. And we are one of those things that have sprung.
Pity we didn't get the memo, Mchana.
No, Mchana, each man to himself. Some of us don't get to choose our clothes.
Are you well? Are you well?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You had a good weekend?
Great one, great one.
Yeah.
It was a friend's birthday. We
Okay.
had fun.
Yeah.
Too much fun. You know, boys are.
Ah.
But we came back fresh and alive, and we're getting a lot of reviews as well with our last episode.
Yes.
Blazing fire right there. I think we had a good special in terms of women. We had some really good feedback, and women are doing quite great things.
We did actually hold down Women's Month quite well as a podcast.
Yes.
We did deliver quite good content for Women's Month, and I know that women who follow this podcast really, got a lot of value from the guests that we invited, the topics that we explored. And I'm 100% sure that those who were uncertain, sometimes you are an entrepreneur, but you've got that thing of should I not?
Yes.
My hope, if you're watching this podcast, my hope is that out of our content for Women's Month and all the shows that we gave to you guys, you got that push, that final push to say, I am starting. That is important.
Yeah, and they must know we're not saying we're no longer going to have women on the show. We are going to have women on the show. Definitely going to have women.
No, we are. We love women.
They love us too.
No, you said that. I didn't say it. Wait. They love us too.
Always right, but needless to say, man. Today we have somebody that is quite I would say disruptor in a sense that he expresses himself, right? And in his expression, you can see in Twitter, and how he plays with words and describes these instances in business that we see. And I mean, he also rescues people choose to rescue dogs, he rescues businesses. So clearly this is somebody that needs to be on the show.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously he goes by the name of McJuke. We'll find out the home affairs name.
We need it, Mchana.
Mr. Mac, talk to us. Welcome to the show, Papa.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome, my brother.
You gentlemen are
Lovely to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are here. Okay, so my name is McJuke, but my ID name, my official name.
Go home affairs.
Yeah, go home affairs. My official name is Kagiso Taker.
Sure.
I'm born, bred from Mafikeng.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Kilebokola Kogai. So I'm born, bred from Mafikeng, and I came here more Joburg, you know, because opportunities are here. And in my quest to come into Joburg, I met 2 more opportunities. Yeah, so
it's opportunism.
Opportunity among opportunity.
Yeah.
It's piles and piles.
Yeah, so that's a snapshot about me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll reveal more, you know, as we get to engage.
Yeah.
And now, and I like the fact that you're saying that you moved to Joburg for opportunities, but I would like to also let's explore this part of Mafikeng. So Mafikeng, what happened? Gelezilera, you did everything there.
I did everything in
Mafikeng. And then Josie, you came what? Because Josie people come vele for university. And then they don't come back.
This one came for money. He didn't come for anything.
I came to collect.
Yeah, I just came to collect this one.
I came for the bag.
I
came for the bag. Because the voices were much louder in Joburg.
Okay.
And I couldn't ignore them anymore.
Yeah.
They were much more subtle at Mafikeng. Because, you know, like Jesus said, you can't be a prophet in your own house, your own home. So the voices were much louder here in Joburg, and you know the bag.
The bag, yeah.
Direction.
Yeah, I changed that. I get out. But then obviously you might take that bag back to my
home. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And now, so in terms of business, what are your skills and traits that you've been dabbling on?
Okay, I'm a writer, you know, by heart and by design, but I'm a strategist by engineering. And my main business activity is strategy. You know, when a business says, I want to do social media, they would say no. Actually what they want is, I want to post. But I'm saying that no, there's a science behind social media. No, it's better to have one post than to have 100 posts. You know, one post that is well thought of. So I put the strategy behind, you know, the social media and the business at a whole, writing, designing, as well as speaking and expressing myself. Because just like Nick, I'm from the, you know, poetry, rap, literature background.
Yeah.
So it kind of was my foundation coming into the business world.
Yeah, and when you mention, Ore, you come from an art space of things, I think it's great because you can take that particular art and express it in business. You understand? Because business, in order for it to survive, it has to express itself. You know, and you having the art of saying, I have been a poet, I've been a rapper, I've been this. Now you know how to address the public. Now taking that particular skill and moving it over to business to say I am able to speak in a particular way to get my message across. You know, so it's quite something. And for the mere fact that you're taking up the space to say, I'm gonna be a strategist, that's not child's play. Coming to somebody else's business and telling them that they've been doing it wrong, and the business has been there for 10 years. Who's wrong?
He's built his whole life around that business. You just walk in and say,
you just walk in, you're like, I know. It's my
Marajuk, tell me, my brother. You know, we first engaged with your content on Twitter. And is this now the most, you know, prominent platform for expression of your gifts and your talents?
Yeah, it's. I like that question because that's where I get to express myself. Twitter is like a canvas, you know, it's a thin canvas, so you can paste, like you can paint whatever you want to paint on the canvas.
Yes.
And people are always looking for, you know, fresh content and good ideas. But besides that, that's where I express myself.
Yes.
But where I get my clients, that's in LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Oh, yeah.
No boy, siyashintsha.
LinkedIn, it's another story. Hey, go LinkedIn when you I saw this other post about it. Go Twitter, you can say, yeah, I just received my driver's license. But I go LinkedIn, you write a whole paragraph of some sort, strategy.
Yeah.
By the end, you're into really license. That's what she said.
I never used to have a bicycle.
Yeah.
These things, but never.
I respect what you're saying so much. The fact that you're saying Twitter is a clean canvas, and you can basically decide what you put on it when. Because Twitter has a bad name to it. As a dark space of people who are negative, people who don't want to see progress. And I think much of the cancel culture, as we know it, stems from Twitter, and it must be a difficult platform to penetrate, especially with this type of content, life-giving content. How have you found people and their response on Twitter? Because those dark things, they are there. We're not saying they're not there, But how have people received your content?
Okay. To be honest, when I started, I was a lion screaming in the wilderness.
Okay.
I was just screaming and nobody was listening. But Twitter, the context in itself somehow changed after COVID.
Okay.
Because that's where things happened there immediately.
Yes.
And then I found that with that, a lot of creators and a lot of content developers swarmed into that space. So now there's a new shift of balance in Twitter, which is the cancel culture, the negative side of Twitter. And Twitter as being a university, as being an educational, like you can basically learn anything from point A to point Z.
So much.
Yeah,
so
you just
much from
have
Twitter.
to know where to look. Yeah. So I leaned towards that side of the life giving, but it was people were rejecting it because it's not something that they used.
They used to.
It's not their natural habitat. But when the culture grew, the content development culture,
they start accepting more.
Then people started accepting more.
Yeah.
Also, table. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. You can go, my brother.
It's just that he mentioned this thing that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
He mentioned the two sides of things. Look, for you to say to yourself you're willing to focus on this other end and shut your ear on the other end, you have to have thought and experienced negativity and the energy and what it drains from you, right? Because we can look at the dark side, it's all fun, it's nice, you're laughing at other people's downfalls and all those things, but to get yourself out of that energy, but for you to make that decision to say, okay, fine, you know what, here you have choices, this is the choice that I'm choosing, right? How has that, I know it's an open canvas, but how has that molded you personally and also in business?
Okay. So how it has molded me, because you're an artist. From artist to artist, it's when you write the book or when you write the poem, it's not about you writing the book.
Sure.
It's also about the book writing you.
Yes.
So the more you develop this content,
that's profound,
the more it develops you again as a human being. So that's how I found the growth, because my thoughts and ideas, they don't remain in my head. Whenever I have an idea, I quickly rush to Twitter, put the idea down. So the more I put out these ideas, in an unfamiliar ground, it's also, the more you get to grow as a human being. So that's how I have found, Twitter. That's where actually the miracle of Twitter is, and the magic of Twitter.
The magic of Twitter. It makes sense. But hey, Luena, how do you go and write your ideas in public platform? Tina will take it in China. He'll take it. As long as you did write their trademark or whatever, now we take it, we go with it. You will screenshot your thing 8 years later. See, I started it, Tina. We'll screenshot the bank account, saying, then we moved it. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, I totally understand where you're saying that it's where you get to release yourself, because staying sometimes within your thoughts for far too long will make you go crazy, But when you find that thing where you can express yourself, I think, which is also one of the things that made us decide to have the podcast, you know? There was just so many conversations that we're not getting to everybody else. And then we're like, oh, that was a great session, but it only ended here, you know? But now to get to a place where you're releasing that and doing all of those things, where's your source of how can I say, your source of inspiration to do all these things, to be so expressive? Where do you get that?
Okay, it starts with my deepest fear. My deepest fear is that I'm scared of not fulfilling my purpose. You know? So, and every time it makes me think about my life a lot. You know, if I were to live life and then I don't fulfill my purpose, then why am I here? So I want to, like, if you've seen my content from January, I always said that I want to create the biggest medical marketing agency in South Africa, and I actually want to do that. So it comes from that fear that, you know what, if I don't fulfill what I'm called here to do, then what am I doing in the first place? Because I'm just wasting. When I'm with you guys here, I'm just wasting oxygen. Somebody else could use better the oxygen more than I am. So it came from that fear, which then now became a weapon for me to say, you know what, I can be the best, you know, and no holds bar, no rules. I can just go crazy.
Go at it.
Yeah, go at it, and nothing will stop.
You can afford.
But guys, don't you think we live in exciting times? I mean, back in Mafikeng, there was no social media. I'm sure there was a time, you know, you had these ideas, but there was no social media to share these things. And today, you know, how life happens is you, within an instant, 1 million people can tap into your thinking. Don't you really think these are exciting times?
These are exciting times. We can, people who are going to consume this content, somebody could be from Kenya, and they deeply need a solution. Like, they deeply need a solution. They can access it real time, just like that. So it tells us that even knowledge has been decentralized. Because knowledge is flexible. Everything is flexible. Opportunities are like
endless.
So it's an interesting.
It's
a very good time to be alive.
My brother, you are here today because we just liked your ideas on hustle culture and side hustling. But you've taken it a step further. I noticed something when I read some of your content. You know, side hustling. People know it as that thing you do, you know, to supplement your income, part-time and stuff. But you are talking about side hustle riches. I think that's something totally different. And I just want to know, I mean, what is your idea of hustle culture?
My idea of the hustle culture.
Yes.
My idea of the hustle culture is basically using your God-given skills, you know, to make a trade, to make a transaction, you know, to commercialize, to package, and to put in that thing that you have, you know, that burning desire that you have, and then you put it to somebody else. And then, because it's attached to the word hustle, it has a touch of by any means necessary. It means that you are going to break your back for this. It means that you are going to put yourself on the altar, on the cross, and you're actually going to die for this. And you are going to see it through and succeed at the end of the day. So that would be my
Yes. But I'm so taken with you saying the fact that we've attached it to the word hustle. It means by any means possible. You get to achieve what you want. And I guess that's the reason you have taken it a step further to say we can't just side hustle. You know, side hustle for a purpose. We want riches from side hustle.
To put the end result to show, hey, this is what we want. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because we just prefer. There's always this thing of hustle linked to the word side. You know, and you don't. That's where sometimes some people don't even give prominence to their skills because they always think that this is something I do on the side. You know, and you don't want to rock the boat. because you don't even trust yourself. Some people, they have a small anyana catering that they cook for friends. It's because sometimes they don't want to think of it that big because they don't want the experience of failure and rejection. Do you understand? Now, at least if I can keep this on the side, it's fine. It's fine.
And actually, when you think about it, by putting side, it actually devalues the currency of the argument itself. Yeah, because when you say side, it's like that little thing that I need to do, but it's a dream come true.
It is. Would you be able to differentiate? I mean, if someone were to say, hey, nah, I'm not a side hustler, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, and someone would say, hey, I'm not an entrepreneur, nah, I'm a side hustler. How would you differentiate the two?
Okay. An entrepreneur is somebody who brings solutions.
Okay.
And a side hustler is somebody who brings solutions. Okay. So we are all cut from the same cloth. Yes. But the difference is a side hustler is somebody who is doing it from the side. And when it comes to side hustle riches, it means that you can do it from the side and it can be your main hustle.
Okay.
So the riches is when you move from the side and then you go straight into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So if I work, then it's a side hustle for me. But if I'm an entrepreneur full time, then entrepreneurship it's a job for me.
That's your hustle.
Yeah. But would you agree with me then to say entrepreneurs are main hustlers, not side hustlers?
Main hustlers.
They are the main hustlers. So their hustle is just constantly there. It's not really a side hustle.
It's the main hustle.
Main hustle. And you also speak about a different concept that I just want to explore with you, that entrepreneurs need to choose the type of customers that they want to attract. Okay. And I, the first time I listened to you unpack this on a space, I thought, hey, this one is crazy. This one, this one is crazy. But it really, made me think and made me question a lot of things. I mean, you started speaking to me saying that run away from cheap quality customers and align yourself with high quality customers. Just explain. Let me not do your work for you. Explain this concept to us.
I want to explain it. There's a difference between a broke customer and there's a difference between a cheap customer.
Okay.
A broke customer don't have money at the time. But they can say, can you please give me a payment plan? And I'll make sure that I pay.
Okay.
They're going to appreciate your work.
Okay.
But a cheap customer, it's somebody who wants a good deal out of a good deal.
Okay.
They want a Rolls Royce quality with a Fiat Uno budget.
Okay.
So, and they will frustrate you, when you do business with them, they'll start complaining, they'll frustrate you. And just because they're giving you money, they think that they are entitled. At the end of the day, we are humans. You have feelings. And I'm sure they have feelings as well. But they come and then they trample you. So dealing with this type of customers, cheap customers are expensive because they're going to cost you more than money. When you give them a discount, you're actually giving them money. So they're going to cost you your time. They're going to cost you your self-esteem. And at the end of the day, they're also going to destroy your business because of this energy that they're coming from. Unlike broke customers.
Yes.
So these are cheap customers. But a quality customer, it's somebody who knows that, you know what, Nick, I know the value of what you're doing. And I understand that value. And I appreciate what you do. So because you're giving me that value, I know that I want a return on investment. So why shouldn't you have your own return on investment? So whenever you put a price to the product, they'll never complain because they know the value that you're coming with, the solutions that you're bringing, the transformation that you're bringing into your business. So that's where the concept cheap customers and top quality customers comes from.
Thank you for sorry Nick. Thank you for differentiating between a broke customer and a cheap customer. Because I started thinking, we don't, we don't make the cut for Mac. Eh?
So now when I ask for a payment plan, I get broke.
Yeah.
No,
But it's quite interesting, and just speak to us more about your high value customers. What concept are you putting out there on that?
Okay, my concept is the type of customer you choose determines the type of revenue you make. If you choose somebody who has money, you are going to make money. And because what I would like to do, let's say with my income goal is 10,000 rand. You guys will help me with the mathematics because I'm so bad. If I want to make an income goal of 10,000,
sure,
I can work with 10,000 customers who are going to give me 1 rand each. Or I can work with 1,000 customers who are going to give me 100 rand each. I can work with 50 customers who are going to give me 500 rand each. Or I can work with 4 customers who are going to give me 2.5 each. I can push the envelope and say I want to work with 2 customers who can give me 5,000 each. But then I say, because I understand my value, why don't I work with 1 customer who's going to give me 10,000? So with this concept of high quality customers, it means that what you are actually doing is you are helping somebody with a problem, with a specific problem, and they don't mind paying you for that specific problem because they understand the value of what comes with this problem. So they have a pain that they have and a pleasure that they have a pain that they have that they don't want to have, and a solution that they want that they don't have. But because you are coming and specializing in this solution, you are going to give them this solution. And what it will do for you when you do the work, you don't feel like you're a slave. Because even the relationship, so it's more, the relationship, it's beyond money. I say that a business relationship is more lucrative than a transaction. A business relationship is more profitable than an invoice. So what you are doing with this person, you are day trading a relationship, and you are developing this trust because you are going to solve this problem. You are going to give them because if you had 10,000 customers, you'd be there and there and there and there. But with this one customer, you're going to put all your focus.
Your efforts are streamlined.
You have put all your focus with this customer, and then it requires you to have that relationship. So that's where the concept of a top quality and affluent customers comes in.
But just on that point, look, I mean, I understand where the flow is in terms of you don't want the cost of because the cost of acquiring a client is very expensive as well.
It is.
But don't you find that to be quite risky though to base? Now I'm taking it from the scenario of having one client. Don't you find that to be quite risky to base all your eggs in one client? You see,
that's a good question.
Because there for me, I just find it to be very traumatizing. Because as much as you are pushing, that one might just give up. And now you start afresh.
So the concept here, it's not to work with one client, but the concept here, it's small cycle, big values. Because when this person comes, they are going to refer their kind. If they come and then they are affluent, they know what value is, they are going to refer their kind. Instead of working with somebody who's not going to afford you, who are they going to afford? Who are they going to refer? They are going to refer their kind as well. And then they are going to refer the same person who's beating you down. But with this one, you can just say, what, I want to work with 5 customers, who pays me the amount of 10,000 people. And then you get to grow and expand on that. So what you are attracting is this top quality customers getting into your business, referring more and more.
No, it makes sense because obviously it's your market segmentation.
True.
You're looking at what, and also correct me as well. It's also about the product that you have.
Absolutely.
Right? It's very, very important. If you know your product does not allow payment plans, then me and Bongani can't afford it. Because we are broke customers.
We are.
So that's the thing. It's also the product that you have. I mean, yes. If I'm selling funeral policies, right? I know for a fact that I have to create room in the 12-month span that there's going to be 1, if not 2 unknown payments, right? That's the market I understand, right? So which I'm amplifying what you're saying in the sense that if I sold it to that person and then they refer someone who's also gonna do two or whatever, let them. But if your business is positioned for such, then great, you know. But it's how you're going to streamline it right. You understand? Which makes a world of a difference, because product and market, they need to make sense.
Absolutely.
You know, you can sell. You obviously, when as a salesperson, you are Rolls Royce. You know, so when you are guilty, you don't have the skills of qualifying.
Absolutely. And to catch you on that thought, let me make an example.
Yeah.
This watch, it's the brand is T-Man.
Okay.
I bought it $450 at Markham.
Yeah.
$450. But there's somebody who's going to buy a Rolex. They're probably going to buy it for $200K. Now think about this. They both perform the same function. At the end of the day, I know it's what time is it now? Yeah, I know that it's 3 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock. He knows that it's 3 o'clock and it's 4 o'clock. But with them, it's not about function. It's about social currency. It's about being exclusive.
Correct,
it's about ego appeal. Now imagine if you take your funeral policy business and then you take it to somebody in Serengeti and then you give them comfort. You know, I'm going to put you in a limousine that has it's stitched, in a cabin and it's a Rolls Royce. You're giving them that lifestyle that they're looking for.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not about the what, it's about the who. It's about the who you're doing business with.
Sure.
I want to read a tweet that you put out some time back. It says here,
I want a Rolls Royce watch.
you give us 6 hot tips for marketing to the super rich. And I'm sure a lot of people struggle with this group, this segment of the market. No, it's not easy. But you say examine your beliefs and push past your fears. Number 2, you say understand their specific needs. Also focus on your referral process. Go where the millionaires are. Okay? And prioritize quality. Spread optimism throughout your marketing. Do you think you got your sequence right?
Yeah. The sequence is right.
Is it, can we still reshuffle? I think prioritizing quality somewhere there, or number 2 there somewhere. But I like the fact that you identify certain things that are intentional, that can be done to attract this group of people. And it's great that you're sharing it. I mean, he already told you are going to steal your ideas, Mchala, and make money out of it, But it's great that you're sharing it on Twitter. Are you getting any feedback from people who have applied some of your concepts? Are there people who are coming back to say, hey, Mac, I tried this. It really works. Or sometimes, hey, Mac, I think you should stop telling people this. It doesn't work, What type of feedback are you getting from Twitter mostly?
Yeah, that's the type of feedback that I'm getting, because people tend to undervalue themselves. And we think just because your business is small, it does not mean that your customers should be small. It does not mean that everything you do should be small.
Yes.
And so this small thinking mentality is actually keeping small businesses small.
Yes.
So somebody would come back and would say, you know what, I listened at a space and I started raising my prices, or I got into business. What I wanted to do is I wanted to start low, but I reconfigured my thoughts. Now I'm starting high because I'm getting into a specific niche. So this is the type of feedback that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And when you get those type of feedback, don't you come back to the same point where I'm saying you steal your ideas? Because there's but I understand your approach in terms of your business mentality and as an entrepreneur. In order for you to have a rapport in terms of being a strategist, the people must see that the strategies that you've applied. So I could sit here and say, hey, we're gonna steal your ideas. Ganti, you are just posting the weak ones. The real ones, they are there at the back.
In
Nobody's,
fact, he's got some content. I saw something on your profile, where you say I'm join, subscribe, and on this platform I'll be talking about things that will never make it to Twitter.
Heard from me before.
So you're like, okay.
So he's got bars and bars and bars of wisdom that will never make it to Twitter.
He's giving it for free.
So you need to pay him for that. So he's okay. We still these ones are. We haven't done anything.
That's fine. Then my conscience is clear. We shall start stealing.
Guys, Mac Duke has an ebook that he authored, which also, he rolls out as a training program, an online training program. It's titled The 7 Golden Rules of Side Hustle Riches. Guys, you want to get rich? Please go and buy that ebook. It's $25.
Yeah, it's $25.
I saw it. I'll be buying one as well. And I think we will just give you an opportunity to tell us about the ebook, about the training program, and what you offer. And maybe if you've got some golden rules, Nyana, for us today, to drop some here.
Okay, so basically, the book talks about a different economy, a different paradigm in side hustling.
The bag economy?
Yeah, the bag economy.
Ah, okay.
There's a script that says that the harvest is many, but the laborers are few.
Yes.
So there's a lot of harvest in that economy, but people are just not getting into that side hustle economy because we think that side hustle is just something that you do, because you want to supplement your income.
Yes,
but it's actually an empire. It's a whole operation. That you can create a financial wall around yourself and your family. Nothing can shake
Through side hustle.
through side hustling. If
Yes,
you think right and if
so-
you have a right strategy. So it talks about unlocking that part of the universe.
Yes.
It's like what I do. It's like I open an orb. I open a portal, and when you get into this portal, there are unlimited opportunities, and those opportunities are not far from your reach because what you are going to be using, you are going to be using the knowledge that you already have.
Yes.
So what I'm actually saying is that you have this knowledge. Why don't you productize it and make a lot of money out of it just by wrapping around it with a nice and beautiful strategy?
Oh.
Yeah, so that's how the golden rules come from.
Yeah.
But why would you? I think majority of the people that push side hustles, it's normally because I've noticed some of them they're normally traditional in the sense that face to face, like cook or whatever the case may be. But why would you in your book have a different approach of having an ebook instead of the traditional hardcover, printed one? What inspired that?
Because an ebook is location independent. You can buy it anywhere in the world.
In the world, sure.
And as long as the ebook is there, I'm going to live it. And with the ebook, the startup costs are close to zero. So you don't have printing costs. You don't have, and you can basically turn the ebook into a business. You can get speaking opportunities from that. You can do consulting from that. You can do a training program from that. So with an ebook, there are more opportunities.
And the time's justified.
And the time is just right.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just everything is in the palm of your hand. So instead of going to CNA to buy the book, you can get it here. And guess what? It's just 8 pages.
What?
8 pages.
So tell me, when do you stop being a strategist? You're a strategist in everything. At what point do you like, okay, no,
now
I'm sure even at home they're like, hey, Emanyani.
Now I'm done.
Right now, we're classy so.
This man is on strategy. Why?
When I'm listening to this man is like, strategy. Everything is going strategy. We are going e-book and Changela is opening a conglomerate. No, but that's such an inspiration, to live your thoughts, to live your dreams in fulfillment and understanding how far this expansion is. And I like the fact that you understand that it's a portal that you're opening, and for people to come in and say, you know what, Chief, I love your work. I would like for you to expand on it.
Yeah.
Give me much more reach as to what actually are you doing?
Yeah.
Where are you going? I think that's commendable, and that's one of the things that we love here in the show, because we don't really want you to give us your trade secrets, but we like the fact that we can find portions and portions in your personality that inspires the entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You know, and that's why we decode entrepreneurs. You know, but at home, guys. Before we start decoding other things here, don't forget, guys, to subscribe, comment, like, and share, of course. But most importantly, click on that button on the side, that one, notification, please. And guys, please also do comment on our pages and also our social media platforms. We have one handle, which is at Khoola Biz, so we are quite interactive. Yeah, but I ask a in a strategy. I'm getting
Tell me, man. I asked you earlier if you've got any golden rules.
The golden rules.
Yes, that you want to drop for entrepreneurs watching the show today.
So with the 7 golden rules, this is where it starts.
Okay.
Golden rule number 1, it says, first things first, the market. Nothing happens in a business without a customer. You can have the best accounting, you can have the best operations, you can have the best office, but if somebody doesn't come into the office, then nothing will happen into the business. So you have to understand that the business exists because of the customer.
I have a business that failed because I didn't have customers. And I'd invested so much in that business. But ultimately it just failed because I didn't have customers.
Imagine. Yeah. And with the audience, you get to determine the type of audience that you put them down. Like unlike family, customers are not absolute. You know, you cannot choose your family. You cannot elect your family. But customers are like friends, are like mentors. You can say, please mentor me. Please be my friend. And we choose them based on the values that we want to attain or based on the goals that we want to attain. So you can say, this is a customer that I want. I want him to pay me this much. I want him to be this type of person. I want him to come from Sentin. I want him to, you describe him. And then once you get a clear picture of who he is, you can say, okay, this person, I can get them at the golf course. So what will my marketing be? I go to the golf courses, I go and have a conversation with these customers, then I have a business. And once you understand your customer, the product builds itself.
Yes.
At the end of the day, when you understand the customer, the product builds itself, because the product is not as much as important as the customer is, because the customer is going to be interacting with the product. So when you improve the product, like what Twitter is doing with Spaces, they are improving Spaces based on our reviews.
Yes.
They don't say, no, let's put this update on Twitter. They're gonna look at our reviews, where we are happy, where we are not happy, and then they're gonna develop the product. So because they understand who their customer is, the product becomes automatic. So first things first, it's your customer, because the business now becomes automatic.
Yes.
Number 2.
Yeah.
We're still going, right?
We're going.
Golden rule number 2 is knowledge is the biggest product in the 21st century.
Okay.
Knowledge is the biggest product in the 21st century. A biblical scripture says, I like referring from the Bible.
We like it too, don't worry.
The Bible says that my people continue to suffer because of lack of knowledge. It says continue to suffer because of lack of knowledge. And if they have knowledge, it means that they won't continue to suffer. So it means that knowledge is so important, because where there is no knowledge, there is suffering.
There's suffering.
So because you have this knowledge, like when you go to the dentist, what the dentist is paying for is paying you for lack of knowledge. But if you knew how to remove the tooth yourself, you could have just said, "Hi, dentist."
That's another way of looking at it. So, they're charging because I could say, they're charging.
You're buying knowledge, basically. That's an interesting way to look at it. No, I like that. I like
ignorance is very expensive.
So,
very.
The idea here is, what knowledge do you have? If you have knowledge in a particular subject, why don't you productize it, commercialize it, and sell it to somebody who doesn't know? Instead of saying that I want to start this mighty business, start with something that you know. Do you know how to bake? Do you know how to sell? Do you know podcasting? Start with the knowledge that you already have and sell it to somebody who doesn't know. So knowledge is the biggest product in the 21st century.
Wow. It makes a world of a difference when you mention this. And as much as we would love to give these people freebies.
Yeah.
I think giving them 2 is fine. The rest they can go buy the book. Buy the book, guys. Buy the book.
Hi
Buy the
guys,
book.
now I was trying for you, Nick.
I'm helping the strategist right
Yeah.
now because y'all are just
From what
taking notes.
strategist?
Nick is just cutting my message. Now I was trying for you guys to get the
How
whole
bad
7.
How bad Hey, Allah $25. Someone loans at $25. Okay. How bad
No. Let them buy him, Chana. I think the 2 you've given them,
Yeah.
It's fine.
if it doesn't shift their thinking,
Yeah.
then we can't help them.
Yeah. Let me give number 3.
Okay, cool.
Okay, freebie.
And
Go on, Chana. Go
this
on.
one it's one of the most important. It says that build a side hustle, not a money maker. Because the worst time to start a business is when you're desperate for money. Because when you're desperate for money, that's the worst time to start a business because you'll be thinking money,
Yeah.
and forget the most important part of the business, which is the customer, which is delivering the value.
Yes.
So what you're actually doing is you're starting a side hustle, not a money maker, not a cash cow. Because what we are doing most of the time is we are starting cash cows. That's why they end here. Anything that is built on the foundation of money does not grow. It just ends here. That's where the hardships and the struggling and the toiling of hustling really comes in, where there's that concrete that you just can't hit. It's because you started the business because you were desperate for money.
For money.
You know, I got fired at work. Now I need money. Let me start cooking. Yes, it's understandable. It happens. But there should be a bigger goal more than that. Okay, it's gonna start with me. It's gonna feed me. But at some point, the business has to feed the world as well.
So
yeah.
true. That's so true. That's so true. $25.
No, guys, $25 is nothing.
Just go buy.
So tell me, how long is your training program? When one buys the book, what do they subscribe for?
Okay, the training program, they're gonna get 3 exclusive videos. The first one, it's gonna be talking about building a value proposition. I normally say that to stand out is to get attention, meaning that you can get attention only if you stand out. So this is a training video that is going to help you how to stand out. You definitely get to describe who your customer is. You know, what are they afraid of? How much do they earn? Where do they live? And what do they want to accomplish in life? That's the first one. The second one is going to be, it was an exclusive Twitter space for the book in itself. So I recorded the book and then I got to break down the ideas in a Twitter space. So you see now that was strategic. I took the Twitter space. Now it's a product again. Another one, it was a podcast that I had with a lady, one of the clients that I work with.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, starting small. You know, you just because you are starting small, it does not mean that you are going to end up small. So it's you understanding that habit that you develop every day. Like if I were to eat magwinya, if I eat ligunya today, nothing will happen. If I eat it for tomorrow, nothing will happen. 2 weeks. But if I eat it for continuously for 6 months, I'm gonna start being a ligunya. But I started small.
I started small, yes.
So we're talking about starting small and compounding that, starting small and making something bigger.
Scale it right. No. I like the fact that you living what you're saying in the sense that you're saying people must start with what they have already. You're not waiting for something.
Exactly.
You are doing it and it's there and it's evident and it's working. It's working for you. And I feel also when you sit and look at this thing, you must really have some kind of personal development routine that needs to keep you so actively assertive, right? And when I say actively assertive, that means that you are aware of things that may derail you and you stop it right there. Because you can just be assertive. Exactly. But if actively, that means you are also looking around to say, okay, this is what's happening. So what I want to find out from you is that what keeps you sane? What drives you at the current moment to say, this is what I want to do? And irrespective of what Twitter, 3 people said yes, 50 said Hong Kong. What drives you to be there?
To be honest with you, it's simple but not easy. You know, not everybody's going to be your cheerleader. Not everybody is going to celebrate you and root
It's
for
important
you.
you understand.
And you only get to enjoy 20% of the time. 80% of the time is just you. You are the gardener. You are the tools. You are doing everything, and it's putting so much weight in you. But at the end of the day, what I understand that it's not about how I feel. It's about what is necessary. I feel bad some of the times. I feel depressed. Entrepreneurship, depression.
They're very closely linked in China. Very closely linked, especially as I support you. Give him like,
it will more you.
It'll beat you.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I was making a joke with a client that the only thing that can cure entrepreneurial depression is an invoice. Once you get that invoice and it's paid, suddenly off
the president is gone.
Yes. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's about what is necessary. Because if you're gonna build something that's gonna leave a dent on the universe, it's not gonna be easy. You are carrying that cross, and that cross it's heavy. So it's not about how you feel at the moment. It's about what is necessary. Necessary for the next person. Necessary for your mother, for your father, for your children. And once you have that thing burning into your head, it just gives you fuel. Yeah, so that's what inspires me. Yeah.
And I know to have to dig deep within yourself.
Yeah, true.
And say, hey, look here. You have the fire.
You have the
fire come out.
Remind
So you spoke to us about side hustle income and side hustle riches, and you clearly separate the two. I mean, would you say that those who are in the richest gang, maybe not in the income gang, not the richest gang, what would you say is limiting them to get to the richest stage? Those that are in the income gang, what's limiting them?
Okay. It starts with a famous quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is actually that we are greater than we are. So that fear, that fear of plunging out, they always have to, think in and out, think in and out.
Yeah.
So, but somebody who is in the richest side, this is somebody who's willing to make mistakes and grow from those mistakes. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the loss, but rather what you gain when you measure correctly. So the ones in the rich economy, they make mistakes. They always want to try, because this is a crazy concept. When you think about it, it's a crazy concept. So there's somebody who's going to say, I'm going to fail, but the one who are in the income economy, they have those fears and they are afraid to plunge out because they are afraid, maybe they're afraid to fail.
Nobody wakes up and says, I want to get depressed today. But one thing that I've loved in how the years have gone, 20 years ago, we saw failure as being failure, right? But now we see failure as lesson learned, well applied experiences. I was reading the other day that guy, in terms of the guy that invented the light bulbs. Right. He says, that one was well done, was done right, right? But the 200 that came before that. Those were failures, but they led to this big one. Do you understand? They led to this big one. And I think these things is things that we actually do in other parts of our lives, because we get into relationships at a very early age, we date, we break up, and then putu you are 35, whatever, you find somebody, now all of a sudden you feel like, oh, this person was designed for me, but actually you have actually matured enough to understand that there's certain things that are petty that you want to look at. But at that time when you started, you were thinking the petty is big. But now because you are matured, now you then understand. Like for instance, even right now, when I mentioned earlier how you qualifying these clients to say, this one is going to want a payment plan. This one is just going to buy outright. Those things are very much crucial. But now for us, who are stuck in this thing of referring these things to side hustles, we're thinking, I know in my side hustle I'm getting 20,000, but in my job I'm getting 40,000. Mix this is 60,000. But you don't really create a threshold or a line where you're saying, once my side hustle gives me this, I can then move.
Exactly.
So for us, we then sit and say, okay, I know side the same for 40, more for 40, finally 8. Ke tloela neng? And then it's a mistake, okay, what's about ke tloela lekgowa yano. Ke naga ko 40. But then forgetting hore how tloela lekgowa, how sana 80, o dutse ko 40 yano. And you forget what that business that you were doing, you were doing it on weekends. And then you think, the whole week I'll do more business. And your business is actually good on the weekend. That is why you find that majority of the DJs, some of them have jobs.
Yeah, true.
Because they know I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a bit of Monday after work. So why must I quit work? Whereas I think that also that's one of the things that the guys are not really balancing out. Because yes, side. But interrogate it to say, in the absence of umlung, would this side be very functional? Right? And then you can, if you're saying we won't work right, then work on something that is now aimed at replacing umlung. Do you understand? Then by the time you leave umlung, you've got two side things now. Do you understand? But you're just saying, my side hustle is this. If I leave it, forgetting or the client that you are getting them from your workplace. Now you want to leave your bucket and then but entrepreneurship.
Guys, I would say maybe it's about time. You tell me if you guys agree. Maybe it's about time that we remove the word side. Hustle is hustle.
Sure.
Whether you are doing it on weekends or what, he said something so important earlier, that it devalues the art of hustle. The fact that we use the word side. So I would say, if someone looks at me and think, why this one is a great hustler, they must never put inside when they talk about me. Hustler, fine, but not that other.
But even that other. His own people.
Maybe that one it can be a side hustle. The other one. But I just want to be called a hustler. I don't see it giving it the value that it deserves.
Companies do. I mean, companies also have their hustles, because when we are in corporate, they term it very nice, multiple income streams.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Revenue generating initiatives. Right? Their main job go register the donuts, But now all of a sudden now they're selling juice. And then the juice is now a standalone. That's also
it's a hustle.
It's a hustle, right? So that thing is there. It's not something that, it's just that we have been put in a place where we've allocated time to corporate. That we don't quantify it differently on our own runnings of the business. Because if we look at it this way, we come for 9 hours. Doctor tells you a good night's sleep means 8 hours, right? So what happens in these 5 hours? These 5 hours, 1 hour you are bathing. The other hour you are driving to work. The other hour you are back. So essentially you're left with what? 1 hour, 2 hours left.
Then skim some
somewhere there, Netflix. So you understand that when you're sitting at this point, what are your time consumers, right? You've got to get 9 hours that is allocated to Wamlo. That's justifiable because on the 25th you get a salary for it. Now you are getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm not against 8 hours of sleep, but I think 8 hours you'll wake up, your body will be sore as well. But in these 8 hours, you are preparing your body to work for this 9 hours. Do you understand? So 2/4 of your day are dedicated to umlu, because you are resting to go work.
Yes.
You understand? Then you are left with these 4, 5 hours nyana. They also indicate that you are going to work kamlungu 1 hour, bath for umlungu another hour. Yeah? I know, guys. But
and if I were to be a bit extreme about it, when you think about it, that's a piece of your lifespan.
True.
Like that's a piece of your lifespan.
It's true though.
Working for someone. And, but that's another conversation.
Mac, before we close, man, you've probably done a lot of work around side hustling, but you understand hustling, and you've needed to understand hustling because you are the strategy behind other people's hustle. Which hustles? I mean, there are people, entrepreneurs who just sit at home and say, "Kina di cheleta, kina idea or nka etsa eng," Have you maybe discovered certain hustles out there which you think are good money makers?
Okay. To be honest with you, every hustle is a good money maker. It's not answer. The hustle, it's the person behind the hustle. There's a company abroad, they're making millions and they're selling chocolate coated cockroaches. Chocolate coated cockroaches, they are making millions. So it's not the hustle in itself, but it's the strategy behind the hustle. For eating cockroaches that are chocolate coated.
So we can make a massage.
Chocolate.
So what they're saying is they will come here to Limpopo, set up a plant, buy all the cockroaches, and then chocolate coat them, and then export them.
Sell them
to the rest of the world.
They make marketing, it's like it's worth eating.
Are you implying that Limpopo has a lot of cockroaches?
No, I'm just saying,
But now I spoke about masonja, which is eatable there. But but anyway, I see Kodak.
Leave me, please. Leave me.
So
leave me.
Any hustle can be lucrative as long as you have a system. There are people who, I know there's a lady somewhere in Soweto who likes to make burgers. And these burgers are wonderful. Like they are top tier. They're even better than McDonald's. But the difference between her and McDonald's is a system. Because what McDonald's has is McDonald's, they're not looking for the best chef. They're not looking for a 7-star chef. They're just looking for somebody who can run a procedure, follow a system from point A to point Z to get the same consistency of the burger. The difference is the lady doesn't have that same system to get the same consistency, to reproduce and then make it into a business. So with simple thing like a McDonald's, they both sell in McDonald's, but McDonald's is making billions. So the only deficiency there, it's the system. So whatever hustle that you have, it does not matter. If you can sell it and somebody can buy it, if you systemize it, you can make it.
Let me milk you some more. It's fine. On the 26th of August, you tweeted something which stayed with me. You said business owners, stop looking for clients for the sake of looking for clients. I'm not going to read out what you wrote beneath that. You tell us more about that tweet.
Okay. You don't look for clients for the sake of looking for clients. So what you can actually do is you can niche down. You can find a problem, like that painful problem that they are dealing with, and you can provide the solution. But if you are looking, you'll never find. But if you are strategic about what you're looking, so what I'm basically saying here is fish where there is fish. Fish where there is fish, because what we do most of the time is we look, but we never find. But if you can just say, but who is this person? What do they need? Can I give it to them? And then where do I go from here? I'm going to go to the point where there are a lot of them there. So now I'm not looking for clients for the sake of looking for clients. I'm looking for clients because now I'm strategic and I can offer a solution. And there's a whole pond of clients there that I can get.
My brother, let's close the show. We've milked this man enough. I think people must just go out, spend $25. If you are on Twitter or on LinkedIn, you can follow this man. He's got exciting content that he puts out almost every day. Mac is quite active on social media, and he will keep you thinking, if not changing the way you think. He will at least keep you thinking. So maybe tell us, how do people get a hold of you if they want to give you bags.
Yeah.
If they wanna, consult, tell us just how do people get in touch with you?
Okay. The easiest way for you to get in touch with me it's Twitter. Like, that's where I live. I'll probably give you an answer much more faster than I give you an answer on WhatsApp.
Oh yeah.
So Twitter, it's my domain.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is my domain.
Yeah.
And my website is mcjuke.africa.
Yeah.
mcjuke.africa. So
Yeah.
that's where you basically will get.
Okay.
So what's next? And then what's next for McJuke? I know you've got the book, you've got the training. What's next? Or are you still strategizing on it?
Okay. Actually, Actually, I am planning an event. It's called Beyond the Stethoscope. It's for medical doctors. So I want to do a red carpet event for medical doctors, just to thank them for the battle that they fought against COVID. So it's going to be a red carpet event. Awards and everything. So I'm still conceptualizing it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine says, "Don't build in silence." So that question is also prompting me not to build in silence. Take advantage of the situation.
No, that is great, man. I mean, it's actually quite great. These guys did a lot for us in COVID.
Yeah.
They put their lives at risk. I think
They
something
did.
like that is quite great. And I like the fact that majority of the entrepreneurs, although they're seeking to make money and revenue for themselves, they always have that element of giving.
Yeah.
That says, okay, I also want to play my part. I also want to acknowledge you. Whether you've bought from me or not, it's fine. But what you've done may have helped my sister, may have helped somebody else. So I think it's a good gesture that you're doing. And look, I mean, if we need to be there and help you, we'll be there.
Cover the show.
We'll cover the show. We'll cover the show.
Yeah, I mean, doctors are entrepreneurs at the end of the day,
They
and
invest 7 years.
if we need to do an episode, we'd like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do an episode just covering just the entrepreneurship element of their business. We'd like to do that. Yeah.
No.
Opportunities are endless.
Emonat. So yeah, guys, bonile kumekjuk strategist. Strategizer la. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for again affording us time to entertain you.
Yeah.
And also have the opportunity to expand your thoughts on entrepreneurship. Like we said, in this platform, everybody is an entrepreneur. It's how you table it, you see, and having the likes of the guys like McJuke help us to decode more and more. So yeah, keep watching, guys, and don't forget, share, comment, like, and click on that notification button.
Important.
Very important. And comment, guys. We want to talk to you guys, and we like the feedback that we're getting as well.
Yeah.
And on the social medias, we are all over the social medias with our same handle at Khoola Biz, and we are on LinkedIn too. Yeah, LinkedIn people.
We're also there by Juke.
Yeah.
Where Juke makes his money.
We're also there.
Also there.
Yeah, where the bank is. But until next time, guys, let's go fill up the bank. Excellent.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
See, Valega. Number one.